Okay guys, I've just been to Mercadona, picked up a few little bits of shopping I need, and now I'm off to Malaga Airport, which is about an hour and a half drive, to pick up the wife because she's been back in the UK for 10 days. So anyway, let's go and pick her up. Look what I'm parked next to, this little convertible Ford car. I haven't seen one of those in a long time, but that's proper old, but it's in good nick that for its year, it really is. Good morning guys. So today I'm finally going to start repairing the damage that we've got on the roof here in the kitchen, and also the damage that we've got in the roof in the bathroom. You may remember I put up a video about how Storm Leonardo and Storm Marta and a whole bunch of other storms had basically caused havoc through this area of Spain where I live, and directly above this kitchen we've got a roof terrace, a flat roof, and basically, because the amount of water that fell, it just damaged the roof and it slowly penetrated into the ceiling. So I'll spin the camera around and you can see what I'm going to start doing today. Okay, so this is the damage that the storm caused, and as you can see, it's caused damage pretty much to the whole of the ceiling. As you can see, it's not beautiful, and in the bathroom we've got exactly the same. You can see where the water come through. The new light we put up got filled up with water. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be repairing. So I'm just going to start sheeting everything here in the kitchen, all the units, everything in here. I'll sheet everything in the bathroom, and then the first job will be to basically scrape all of this off. Then I'm going to put stain blocker on, paint the ceiling with stain blocker, let that dry for a few hours. Then once that's dried, I'll then start filling any of the damage. And then once that's done, I will then repaint the ceilings. And then the plan is, now we've got a run of dry weather, there's no rain or water or storms or anything like that due, certainly for the next few weeks. So the plan is to get this done, and then I'll start on the terrace on Monday, start putting the waterproofing membrane down and the waterproofing paint, and then we can have it retiled and the new door fitted. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks or so, everything should be completed. But anyway, let me crack on. Okay, that's the kitchen completely sheeted up and protected. I'll tell you what it looks like. You know, in those mafia movies, when you know that something bad's going to happen to someone because you see them putting the plastic sheeting out. I'm getting that vibe here in the kitchen right now. Okay, that's the ceiling filled. That wasn't too bad, to be honest with you. So I'll let that dry off for a few hours and then I'll rub it down so it's nice and smooth. There was a little bit just here above this cabinet here in the kitchen that was a bit of a nightmare to get to because the cabinets almost touched the ceiling. But anyway, that's done. So like I say, I'll let that dry off and then I'll sand that down so it's smooth. Meanwhile, I'll start on the bathroom ceiling. Okay, that's the stain blocker paint that I've just put on the ceiling. So now we just need to let that dry off. You can probably see over the back there where I've put that on. And then we let that dry, and then once that's dry, we can think about painting the ceiling. So I just took the light down, and I don't know if you can see all this yellowing at the bottom, but that is actually water that's got into the light. And as you can see, as I opened it up, all the water's gone down me, so that's why that light wasn't working. Well, it was working, but it was flickering, and I knew water had got into it, but I had no idea that much, so yeah, not good. Okay, that's a stained block of paint put on the ceiling, as you can see. What was strange though was I bought 2 pots, identical pots. Over here, I've used stained blocker, and you can see it's come out white. Open the second pot, which is meant to be white also, and it's a beige colour, so work that out. But anyway, it's going to be painted over. So basically now wait for this to dry. So while this is drying, I've got another little job I can get on with. So this is the other job that I'll get on with now. During the storms, we had this damp blow out the paint here, so I'm going to chip that off, fill it, let that dry, and then that can be painted as well when I'm next got the white paint out. Okay, so while I'm waiting for that stain blocker to dry, I've filled a couple of patches there that are blown out in the dining room and also in the bedroom, which I'll show you. Okay, and I've also filled a couple of bits here and here where that had blown out as well from the storm, so that's just done. And just below this window, just here, we had a little bit there that had blown as well, so I've done that. And through here, I've now done that, which you saw earlier, so that's all ready to paint once it's dry, and over there as well. That was all basically damage that just happened because of the storms, where damp come up, and that's one of the things with these old village houses as well, even with the modern places here in Spain, they just don't put any damp coursing in. So if you get particularly bad rains like we had, the damp just rises up, and that's what happens. There we go, kitchen ceiling is now fully repaired, and as I was saying, that's the beauty with these old houses, because you can see that the roof isn't perfect. It's not, you know, the ceiling isn't perfect, and they're not meant to be. You know, if you look anywhere in these old houses, you can see that the paint that's applied to the stonework underneath makes for little imperfections that you can see, and that is one of the beautiful things about these houses, that when you have to make repairs, it makes it so much easier. But that's all done there, and then if we go through to here, you can also see that the bathroom ceiling, let's put a light on as such, is also now repaired and looking fine. So that's all good. I just need to now change the light where the water hit it, but other than that, we're completed. Okay, so this morning I've painted all of this wall here that you can see behind me. The reason I've done that was just about here, when we had the really bad storms over the winter period, I had a tiny little bit of water there, a little tiny patch, not bigger than, I don't know, a couple of handprints, but it had come through the wall, and my idea was just once it dried to paint over it. But when I painted over it, you could see the new paint on top of the old paint, and I just didn't like it. So as crazy as it sounds, I had to repaint the whole of this wall so it all blended in okay. But anyway, that's done. So my plan is now to finally start on the terrace. So let's crack on with that. Okay, so I'm finally going to start the terrace, which really is the last part of the house. So the first job I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all of this bamboo caning that's around here. So I'm going to get that off now. Then the next job is to waterproof the terrace itself, because that's what caused the problems in the kitchen and the bathroom. Basically, where we had the storms and there was a lot of rain, it basically just soaked through this terrace and then damaged the kitchen and the bathroom ceiling. So yeah, so the job is basically remove all this bamboo, then I'm going to clean the terrace so that it's completely clean of any dust or debris. Then I'm going to put a layer of caucho down, which is basically a waterproof paint. Then I'm going to lay membrane on top of that as it's drying, and then I'll put another coat or two of caucho, which is the waterproofing paint, on top of that. Once that's then dried, the terrace will be tiled. I did put a photo up on my community post the other day of what I'm going to do with the tiles on the terrace, which is this. And then this metal door that you can see behind me, if you've been watching the channel, you'll know that we've now got a PVC door for there. So that's going to go in on the week beginning the 13th of April, and the tiling will be done that week as well. So for now, I'm going to get the waterproofing done and get these bamboos done out of the way, and then at least we've started on it. So Operation Terrace is now in effect. the hat, but it is so hot out here, so I've had to put this on. But yeah, today I'm putting the waterproofing down on the terrace, and it is a hard job, but I'll explain exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so basically this mesh is going underneath here. So what you do is you put a coat of the waterproofing paint on, then you put the mesh into it, and then you paint over the top. But what I found is it's a really hard job. I've never done it before, so I'm actually doing the edgings first because I'm finding it easier doing it that way than trying to roll across. But yeah, really hard job. This bit here I'm not overly pleased with because I've got a couple of air bubbles in that bit, but as you can see I'm getting much better as I'm going along. So I'll crack on and get this done, but it's a really hard job, much harder than I was anticipating. But anyway, let's carry on. Okay, so I'm going to call it a day today, but basically I've got all the edgings done all the way around the terrace. I've done about half of the terrace itself with the calcio, and then I've done that side as well. So tomorrow I'll carry on and get this half of the terrace done, because I've been at it since 9:30 this morning. It's about 5:30 now, but that is a back-breaking job doing that. I've literally been bent over all day, so calling it a day, and I'll pick it up again tomorrow. Okay, so this morning I finished up the rest of the terrace, because you may remember last night only half of it was done. So that's now been done with its first coat, but I've still got another 2 coats that need to go on, so that all this mesh that you can see is not exposed anymore. So it'll really put a nice waterproofing on it, but we're getting there. So I'll leave this to dry for a few more hours. Ideally needs about 6 hours to dry, but it is in the direct sun, so it's drying pretty quick. But we'll leave that to dry a bit more, and then I'll put another coat on top, the second coat. Okay, so today I've given a 3rd coat to the terrace, and it's certainly getting there now. Ideally you shouldn't be able to see any of the tiles, but bear in mind we are going to be tiling on top, so this is waterproofed it, but ideally I'd like it more like that area over there. You can probably see that you can only just make out the tiles there, so here it needs a lot more. But tomorrow I'll put a 4th and final coat on, and then we should be good. And there you go, after 4 days the terrace is finally waterproofed. You can see Cookie and Brandy there enjoying a little bit of sun, but basically the next job is to paint the terrace walls. There'll be a nice bright white, then we get the bamboo up, then we'll get the tiling done, then we'll change this horrible metal door and get that new PVC one fitted. And then the last job will be to put some terrace furniture out there, and then some nice pots, you know, ceramic pots with plants and some ceramics on the wall. So it'll look lovely once it's done. So keep watching to see the finished article. These dogs, they're proper sun worshippers, these two. You can tell they're Spanish dogs. They absolutely love the sun. Anyway guys, that's the week rounded off. Next week we'll be picking up the tiles for the terrace and the bamboo. Obviously we're going to have those terracotta tiles and the pattern ones just to make it look visually more appealing. Anyway, now I'm going to get all of this footage edited so you can watch and hopefully enjoy it. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And if you can leave a comment, by you simply leaving a comment, it means that YouTube recognises that you guys were interacting with the video and it pushes it out to more people. Anyway, enjoy whatever you're doing for the rest of the day, and I'll catch you in the next one.